All right, this is the 1 month foster care update. So I had the kids with us for a little bit over a month, and overall, it's been almost ideal, I would say, like first experience, like good training wheels, like the kids, pretty easy overall. And yeah, I know like the first few days it was exhausting because we had COVID and because we were just jumping into and getting used to being parents. But overall, it's been fairly easy, and it's been so nice having the sibling group too, which is something you want to cover in another video later.
Definitely.
But that has helped.
Yeah, and so currently the kids are actually at their 4th in-person visit since we have had them. And so we did have to do virtual visits for a while because of COVID. And that got pretty challenging because, especially since after they got so used to it and they were seeing them twice a week virtually, they basically were just like, one of them was like in the kitchen, like doing Play-Doh. One of them decided to go to the art table, and then I'm like there holding the camera, like, well, look at the baby, and like I was like, oh my goodness, girls, come back, your parents are on, and that was really just like the very last one, which was actually the day that I had filmed the previous ones. By the end of that day, I was just like, oh my goodness. And that's where that picture had come from. And the baby also did not take his nap very well. So he was crying during the visit, and it was a mess. So very thankful that they are able to be in person. However, there are pros and cons to both, really.
The first couple of times, the kids were coming back with a ton of candy and most of their dinner.
Yes.
And actually, that happened all 3 times. The first time, we didn't want to say anything. We're like, well, maybe this was, just because it was their first time seeing each other, and they were super excited, didn't get to eating for some reason. And of course, parents want to kind of spoil the kids a little bit and give them a bunch of treats to bring home. But that happened the second time, the third time. And the third time was even more candy. It was a lot of candy, a couple king size candy bars and a couple smaller candy bars, and then a bunch of fun size candy, and then I think a few other things. And they had a bunch of sugary drinks and things during the visit too. So, which, I mean, if this was only every once in a while, that would be one thing. But when visits are happening twice a week, it's just stacking up. So now I feel like I'm talking too much about it. But anyways, we finally requested, hey, can you just send back one small treat per kid per visit type thing,
right.
No more than that.
And we just sent that on this current visit, so we'll see how it goes. They're getting back at 7:30 on a school night, and then to have to still eat dinner and then still do our normal bedtime routine so they are calmed down. They weren't getting to bed until 9 o'clock, and the very first visit was actually the day before A's first day at first grade. And so we really wanted her to, have a good day at school. So I didn't want them to be up super late or too much sugar, all of that. So that was a little bit crazy. I drove her to school the very first day. And this was the first time that I had that mama bear experience, dropping your kid off at school for their very first day. And I think that I was probably more nervous than she was.
And she was pretty nervous.
And A was pretty nervous. So Peter was like, well, Lisa, come on, you have to put on your brave face. And I was like, okay, I need my brave face. So I was like, it's going to be a great day and all this stuff. But going to a new school halfway through the school year, I just didn't know what to expect. And she is a little bit behind on reading and math, and so it was just I didn't know what to expect.
But the students have been so kind.
Yeah.
The teacher, the substitute teacher, she started with a substitute teacher, and the teacher came the next week.
Yeah.
Everybody's been super kind. Lisa's talked to the secretary and
the very first couple of days, I was calling almost daily, and I have talked to the nutritionist for their lunches and breakfast, just to kind of see, how it's set up, just so I have a better understanding, so I can help guide A through her choices. And that has been,
because she was coming home and only eating the same thing every day kind of thing, or just getting donuts
for breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
We know there's more than donuts.
Yeah.
But so and then apparently one of the ladies has been kind of trying to help steer A at school and what to choose and how it works and that kind of thing. But she's been pretty shy, I guess, and she is like more of an introverted personality, I think. Like until she gets to know you. Once she gets to know you, like she's super, bubbly and out, steers the direction of the game she wants to play, very creative. But it just takes a little bit to warm up. So
but the very first day dropping her off, I had went over her like morning work with her because they had like some free time kind of before school officially started. So I just like stayed in the classroom with her for like 5 minutes and was helping her with her morning work. And it was like circle the verb and like put these words in alphabetical order, but the words were like sail, sway, and stay. So it like all started with S, but it was the second letter to look at, and it was just a little bit, I was just like, she can't even read the instructions for this. Like, this is really, I left like feeling really, really sad, like not knowing how her day would go. I came home and I cried in Peter's arms. He gave me a big hug and I was like, I just don't know how she's going to do. And he's like, it'll be great. That day I would pick her up, asked her how it went, and she was like, lunch and recess was all right. I'm like, well, that's something. And then from there on out, she's been riding the bus there and back. And I honestly think like the bus has helped because like it's time like she gets to, the bus driver has been great, very friendly. Like she says, good morning to her. And then A has started saying good morning, Mrs. So-and-so to the bus driver. So that has been really, really nice. And I think having that initial like hello, because she comes off the bus and I ask her, how was school? And it's always great. It was so great. It was so great. And then in the morning, it's like, I don't want to go to school.
She's not a morning person.
No. And like one day, I think it was Monday last week, Peter literally had to give like a 20-minute pep talk to her.
We took turns. So like Lisa did a pep talk the first day. I did a pep talk like one of the other days. And then I was back and forth a little bit. Yeah. But she's getting better. Like she's definitely improved over the weeks. So
yeah. So she has had 2 full weeks in school. And so she is doing a lot better. And that's encouraging. And it's been really cool because I had helped her. Like I was doing school at home with her when we had COVID. So I was just like kind of doing little workbooks, and I was able to see her reading and math level at that point. And just in 2 weeks, like she is so sharp, and it's really exciting to see. And she is getting some extra attention at school just to get her help caught up. So that's been good.
And at night when we do like story time or reading a bedtime story before we go to bed, she's had recently, like last week, where she's like showing more interest in learning how to like read the words. So like she'll either try to read some of the simple books or just be following along. So sometimes we'll use our finger to point out where we're reading so she can kind of see and maybe get an idea of what some of those words are as we're reading. I mean, we're not teaching at that point. We're not trying to turn it into another school lesson. So it's pretty laid back, but she has been showing interest, so that's been good.
Yeah, and her memory is amazing.
So sharp. Oh,
like stories that we have been reading, then like days later she will mention it, and she'll like
week later.
Yeah, she'll like combine stories, or she'll like, oh, she taught us that she's like, cucumber is a fruit, and I was like, no, it's not. And like we decided to ask Google, and if you ask Google, cucumbers is a fruit because I guess it has seeds, but we were like, it's a vegetable.
As well as zucchini and some other things that we thought
green peppers
are considered vegetable
fruit. It's been really fun because she has such a curious mind and very creative and so observant. Her eye for detail is really incredible. Like I have been wearing the exact same earrings for weeks because I just didn't have any energy, and I just kept picking the same ones up and putting them in. Just on Saturday, I had put these Eiffel Tower earrings in, and she was like, oh, are you wearing new earrings? I like your earrings. And I was like, oh my goodness. Like, and after she had seen me for a couple of seconds, like it was crazy. And, twice, there has been a package on our bookshelf. So we have books like stacked up high, and like there's still like one little package there, and she'll like come in from school and be like, oh, what's this? It's like, oh my goodness, like she sees the one thing that's different. Of course, if it's a gift or package, she's especially interested.
And one thing that's been really cool to see, even just over the last 4 weeks, is just the progress that they've made in just different things like little manners and stuff. Like they came with pretty good manners to start with, but we've worked on little things here and there. Like at first, a lot of times when they wanted something, it'd be like, well, why don't I get this? Or I'd really like to have, or it'd be nice if we could have, and it's like, well, just ask for it. Like, could we have, or may I have, please,
Yeah.
And so today when the oldest A got in the car to go to their 4th in-person visit, she very nicely said, Peter, may I please have a snack? Can you please get me a snack?
Yeah.
And I was like, aw, like she asked really nicely. So that's really just cool to see. Like, again, she learned so fast, her sister learned so fast too. And one thing we've been telling A lot too is that the second D, she really looks up to her older sister and imitates a lot that's going on. So like if the oldest doesn't like some of her food, then the second is starting to say she doesn't, when the second normally eats anything and everything we put in front of her. So A's really been kind of stepping up because she does see that.
So while A has been at school, it has been super nice because I did kind of time Dee's nap as well as Bubba's nap at the same time. And so I had like a solid 2 hours to kind of get stuff done. And I had thought, oh, well, that was my time for editing. And I actually still, 2 weeks later, haven't used that time for editing. My editing time has been on Saturdays when Peter takes the kids to parks or things like that now that we're out of quarantine. But usually in the afternoons, I've been using that time to sometimes go grocery shopping. It's nice because Peter does work from home, and so he can be here with them, and then I can still go run an errand if I need to. So that's been super, super nice. I don't even know what else I've done in those 2 hours. I can't tell you, but I've always stayed really busy, but I don't know what happens. I just I'm like, I should get this done. And I'm like setting up an appointment and communicating with their case manager, and that at first, was super great. We didn't hear too much from her the very first couple of days because that was right, in between Christmas and New Year's. And we kind of realized, that's not really a great time. Give her some break. Then we had COVID, and so she didn't come over in person. And then she was starting to set up some things she told us, we'll have, the therapist set up, and we'll have a tutor, and all of these things for A. And just today, actually got a call from one of people that will be working with A on a twice a week basis. And so I thought that we were already have had her tutor and everything like that, but it hasn't happened yet. So we've been reaching out to the case manager. I know that they're so overwhelmed, and so at first we totally felt in the dark.
So the case manager actually did come over a little over a week ago, along with the CASA, the court-appointed special advocate for the kids.
Yep. And
so it's really good to see the case manager again in person, because that was the first time we'd seen her since she dropped the kids off. And then also it was great to meet the CASA. She's amazing. Connect really well with her. But the case manager wasn't able to stay for too long, and then she had to go. So we got to hang out a little bit longer with the CASA, which is great. And then Lisa actually got to have coffee with her with the CASA on Saturday.
Yeah.
And she thought it was gonna be an hour, get together and talk about a few things, but it turned into 4.5 hours.
Yeah. I was very thankful for that meeting because honestly, okay, it's been a month and we all we knew was what we had initially heard on the placement call, which that person just kind of knows what the bullet points written down
as far as what the case is,
right? And how long, and we didn't even know how long the placement call, how long was told by their case manager when she dropped them off, but it was 6 to 12 months, which is such a pretty wide range. And so just for, I don't know, I know everything can be up in the air, but just for planning purposes, it's kind of nice in our minds just to know and just to plan accordingly. So anyways, it was very, 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 very helpful to have the meeting with the CASA. And CASAs are volunteers, and it's just so amazing that they spend their time, and they are the ones in court that speak on behalf of the children. And so, because I didn't realize we have court coming up actually later this week, so maybe we'll make a video about that. But it's just I didn't realize how many people are involved in court. It's quite a lot. But the CASA is the person that speaks primarily on behalf of the kids, and so we don't. Sometimes foster parents get the opportunity to speak, and it sounds like sometimes they don't. So we'll
do.
See.
No, you're required to. Be allowed to.
Usually.
But if you show up,
yeah.
If you're allowed to the court hearing, which I think any of all of them you're supposed to, you are allowed to speak too.
Okay. Yeah. So this meeting will be on Zoom, so we'll see how that goes.
But after that meeting with the CASA, we're like, oh yeah, we haven't requested a meeting with the case manager. We're kind of backlogged with a bunch of questions. We're waiting to hear back from her. Why don't we just invite her to like coffee or over to the house or whatever for coffee or something? And so we reached out to her, and hopefully we'll be able to meet with her later this week before the court hearing, just to kind of get up to speed on everything with her and get to know her a little bit better too.
Yeah, definitely. So, there are a lot of moving parts to foster care, and as foster parents, our main goal is to really love the kids and, give them a safe place. It is nice just to kind of know what is happening, and what some of the things that CASA shared with me too, it was very eye-opening, and be like, oh, that makes sense why D acts this way, or that makes sense why sometimes A gets, this look in her eye, or, like I was able just to put the pieces together. And so it was just so helpful for us, going forward and parenting them while they're here.
Yeah, it kind of helps pray more specifically too, like for the parents and for the situation. So
yeah, definitely. And so for D, it's been super nice getting to spend time with her during the days when A is at school. And so we do like morning song time together, and she really loves that. And she also really plays really nicely by herself. Sometimes with her sister is there, of course, they just want whatever the other toy have, and we have to be like, okay, just because they have it doesn't mean that you need it. I feel like we're just dealing with a lot of everyday
normal
kid stuff now.
Yeah, normal parenting situations.
So I don't know how interesting this is, because you're just like, yep, that's my kid too, or that's all kids. But yeah, so for D, she loves playing with animals, and then in the morning I usually walk A to the bus. And the very first week, D would come with me, and she would wave to her sister. But now she's usually still in her jammies, or it's too cold, she doesn't want to go out. It's totally fine. So Peter is normally at that point just finishing giving Bubba his bottle, and then it's 8 o'clock when she gets on the bus, and then Peter normally he'll go into his office around 9 to start working, so that hour she clings to you. It's so cute.
Yeah, so one morning she was tying this bow around my foot. She wanted me to lay down. She's pretending I was a dog at first. She just put a collar on my foot or something. And then she started this thing where she wanted to run and have me toss her up. Of course, when you do something once the kid likes, you want to do it over and over and over again. So she calls it, she'll just be like, Peter, go over there. She'll point me across the room, and she'll be like, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then run.
6, 7, 8.
Go! Wow! 4, 6, 8.
Right. We've been trying to get her I'm trying to have her count okay, 1, 2, 3, and she goes 1, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm like, okay, well, you're saying numbers, so there you go.
Awesome hearing on that one.
2, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah, on 8. Woo! Woo! The first time I did it, I tossed her up a little ways, and when she was at the top of the throw, she's got a scared look on her face. But then as soon as she's back in my arms and she knows she's safe, she's so excited and giggly and laughing and smiling, and runs back, and then we do it again.
2, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah! Woo! Whoa!
She also has been potty training. Kind of it's hit or miss. And
so in the one of the last videos, we were talking about how the stickers were working so well, but now they seem to kind of lost their magic.
Yeah, they've lost their luster, so I got to figure out something else. So we figured out though when she poops was normally during her nap time. So now before nap time, we sit her down to poop. I usually read a book. Oh, I was gonna show those books. Let me show. We got some books I want to show. All right, I got the books. All right, so we've been reading books, and a lot of them before I was just reading Disney books or whatever, and usually about 20 minutes into reading is when just poop would come, right? But now we got specifically pooping books or
potty training books.
Potty training books.
Because we were talking to a few other people trying to get ideas of how can we potty train faster. And so
Right.
one of the ideas was get some potty training books. Like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
we had potty training books when we were kids. Why
This
haven't we done
one
that?
is amazing. I'm going to leave links for these below. We Poop on the Potty. It is so great.
So colorful.
And it's so colorful. Do animals in the Arctic poop and how walrus poop freezes. And it's just,
and at the end of
it's
every
cute.
story, it says, I poop on the potty. So that repetitive reinforcement.
Yeah, that has been super helpful. This book, too, I love this. It gave us a song to sing. And so I sing the song and then like take her to the potty when it looks like she has to go. Since we've been starting to read these books, I tell you, the poop is coming a lot faster. So if we can time her right before a nap, like she's been doing pretty good. But yeah, it's just been a little bit of a struggle. She has started to get a little bit defiant, and it's just like...
Now
like,
we are encouraging her and trying to get her to do something. She's like, nah, I don't want to do it now. You want
Nope,
me to.
nope.
But
so, yeah,
we
yeah.
did get a kid's toilet for her too, so
That
we have
helped.
that down here. Kids seat on the toilet seat upstairs. We
Right.
wouldn't have anything in the toilet downstairs, so when we were down here, like, it doesn't work as well.
Yeah.
But then we got this kid's toilet, and like the first day, she was like super excited. She was like, "Oh, I want to go on. I want to use my new toilet." She's lost a little bit of interest in actually potty training for now, so hopefully it comes back.
Any other advice, let us know. But these books are helpful, so definitely I'll leave these links if you happen to be potty training right now too. You got it. Go.
We've
go.
heard we need to just let her run around naked and then figure it out, but I'm like, I don't like that idea.
Yeah, how messy do we want things to get, you know? So, yeah.
Speaking of poop, one thing we realized back when we had COVID was that we had lost our sense of smell during part of that.
But we didn't realize that until we
it
started to get
came
our
back.
smell back. And then we were like, that was actually a really nice benefit of COVID.
Yeah. Thankfully, we didn't lose our sense of taste, so that was nice because we got to taste all the yummy meals everybody was bringing
Yes.
us. Thank you again to anybody that brought us a meal. That was like super, super helpful, and they would last us a couple of days, so we were
Yep.
pretty much covered. We would cook breakfast, and then like lunch and dinner was pretty much taken care of, which was great, made it really easy.
It was just so nice being shown up at the door, and I'm like, oh yeah, I have to cook meals now. But now we're in a routine, and it makes it easier. So having those meals
At
off the
beginning,
bat was amazing.
it's
So if
fantastic.
you know any foster parents near you, especially if they just got a placement, go drop them off a meal. So helpful. Thank you, everybody.
Speaking of meals, Bubby, the baby, loves meals. Like, he seems to have this sixth sense where whenever we sit down to eat a meal,
Yeah.
if he's taking a nap, he wakes up.
Oh yeah, yeah, he does.
And he's like really starting to guzzle. So like we've gone up in nipple sizes gradually. Are we on number 4 now?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're on number 4. So we're on the largest one now.
All these things we're learning. I had to ask my friend, like,
There's a 1, 2, 3, 4.
yeah, like I mean, I didn't even know if it was a different nipple size. I'm
Oh, we
like,
started with 0 actually.
yeah, and I remember I texted her. I was like, "Are there supposed to be different nipple sizes?" Because I feel like he's having a really hard time like getting
And it
the
started to take
formula,
longer.
and it was taking longer, and like he was like making it like he was like really trying hard. And so she said, "Yeah, there are." And so we gradually over the last month he has went from 0 to 4 because he was breastfed before, and so a bottle transition. But now he is chunking up like crazy. Holy cow. Okay, he came, when we didn't realize, but the day that we got him was actually his 5-month birthday. And so just 3 days ago was his 6-month birthday. And so when he came at 5 months, he was wearing a lot of 3-month clothing. It was like the 3 to 6 month, but some of them,
It's all 3 to 6.
some of them were just 3 months, and he
Really?
fit in them. You were like, "This is a little tight," but I was like, "Yeah, but it works."
And he came looking healthy. He wasn't skinny at all.
No. But like formula, I mean, I think they do chunk up a little more. So like now his legs are his thighs and his waist is so chunky. I put 6 to 9 month pants on him the other day, and I like was like, ooh, come on, get over your bottom. And I put it on, and I'm like, I can't leave you in these pants. Like they are so tight on you. So it's
And they're a little long, but
Yeah,
like you gotta get
yeah.
past the thighs and the diaper butt.
He's not crawling yet. He's really trying to.
He's getting close.
He is. He the first time we had him, tummy time, it was kind of like he would lift his head a little bit. Now he's like lifting his arms and like looking around and like
starting to push up on his knees
and
a
he's
little
starting like the other day, like I was like, "Peter, come out. He's
Starting
about
to do
he's
the
about
swim motion.
Yeah, he's about to start crawling, but he hasn't He hasn't got that yet.
He's getting strong though.
He also doesn't roll completely yet. Like he'll roll to his side, but he doesn't go any further than that. So for right now, it's actually pretty nice because sometimes Peter, he's working in the bedroom, so we have a queen size bed. I can lay him in the middle of the bed. Peter's right there, and I'm like, hey, watch him for a sec. I have to go wipe Dee's bottom, or what, I have to go put her down for a nap or whatever. And so it's nice to Peter is here, and I can just be like, hey, here he is, and I can put him on the bed, not fearing that he's gonna roll off, but I don't think we'll be able to do that much longer.
Not too much longer.
Yeah.
And he's getting really good grip strength too, so he's starting to
goodness.
figure out his fingers. Like for the longest time, he's just kind of flailing his hands around, of course, but now he's figuring out how to grab his pacifier and pull it out or put it back in or grab other things. So he's really teething and drooling a ton right now and get a little bit fussy because of that.
He actually has missed the last 2 days of mealtime because he has been sleeping. His sleep time is off, and so then teething, and so our sleep time is off. So we didn't have a very good night's sleep last night. Yeah.
Yesterday, we got to go to youth group at our church. We serve there, and that was our first time back since having the kids, and that was great to be able to go. The friend that was watching the kids, she said that he actually reached down and picked up one of his toys on his own. And that's the first time that's happened.
I was like, are you serious? We missed our first. I was like, what? Because he will grip it well, but lift up. And it was actually this toy. And speaking of crazy songs we have now stuck in our head, this is a cute koala. And this is the song that I think it was week 3. We just started singing to each other after we had put the kids to bed. We are going around the house singing this song. So it's very catchy. I'll have you listen because it's his favorite toy. It's just the cutest.
Koala, kisses for me, koala, kisses for you, koala, kisses for everyone. I am full of love. I'm a cute koala.
You're welcome. Now you're gonna have it stuck too.
Koala, kisses for you, koala, kisses for me, koala, kisses for everyone. Oh, then it keeps going as you shake it. Anyways, so the crazy things we have stuck in our head now.
The other thing with Bubby is just how much he laughs and smiles. He gets such cute giggles.
Whoa, look at that face. And he loves to be held, and so thankfully now we have him in the carrier a lot, but otherwise we're always trying to hold him. I did get an extra saucer because he kind of enjoys that. He'll last in that for about 15 to 20 minutes, which usually gives me enough time to quickly make something as I'm talking to him.
I'll have him sometimes at the computer while I'm working, and as long as I'm bouncing around or moving around a little bit, then he's okay usually. But
or
eventually
if you have a video playing of music, that worked for a little bit.
Worked for a little bit more, so just having some music going helped a little bit, but even that he gets tired of eventually. There are times where for a while he likes just kind of watching my fingers typing on the keyboard while I'm working or whatever I'm flashing up on the screen and working with. But it's not that crazy, and so he gets bored eventually.
Yeah, but he's the happiest little dude. And when you say, hi, Bubby, he just starts laughing. He loves kissy noises.
It's been a real joy to be able to take care of the kids and really get to know them and see them grow and develop. And it was fun. What was it? A little over a week ago now? Yeah. It's crazy. Time flies. A little over a week ago,
we're in a weird time warp, it feels like.
we were invited to go to their mom's birthday party on a Saturday, and we went and got to meet the mom for a little bit and kind of talked to the dad through the van window, but the dad ended up getting sick and puking on the way there and thought maybe he had COVID. He ended up getting tested, and thankfully he didn't have COVID, so the kids were able to resume in-person visits again. So that was a huge relief and an answer to prayer. But it was nice to just kind of meet the parents, and especially talking to the mom for a little bit in person.
Yeah.
Again, the dad was in the car, so we didn't get to talk to him as much, but hopefully be able to do that in the future.
So that day for the party, the kids are supposed to spend 4 hours with the parents to celebrate their mom's birthday. We were just going to be there for the first hour. That way the kids still had their time with their parents. But then they invited us, and that was so nice. So we were really excited for that, looking forward to that. And then, unfortunately, the dad ended up getting sick, and so we just really got to connect with the mom for 20 minutes. They had seen them that Monday, that Wednesday, and then that Saturday. And that first Monday, I did send a note And I asked a question just like if the kids had any like allergies or like diet restrictions, and like asking a question was like so helpful because I got a response from them. I did not expect them to use their visit time, their very first in-person visit time, to write a note, but they wrote me back like this 2-page note. And it was so nice, and it was so good to start like having that communication, because like on the virtual visits, I mean, my main focus is like making sure the kids are able to see, and then like the parents would sometimes like ask me questions, but like it also would get into like, wait, did you talk to this doctor or whatever? And it would just kind of, not be what the visit was supposed to be about. And so having that communication back and forth, writing. So definitely encourage you, if you are a foster parent or thinking about becoming a foster parent, reach out to them, send notes to the visits. That has been good, having that communication. Now this has been their 4th visit, and every time I send a note, well, actually I guess it was a 5th, because like the birthday party, which didn't actually end up happening, but we had wrote a note. We went out shopping with the girls. We had given them a budget to work with, and it was really good because we had them do the shopping ahead of time and like being like, what would your mom like? And then we like subtracted like, okay, that was like $3.50 for like that Coca-Cola or the Dr. Pepper cream soda, which we were like, is that even a thing? But like that was their mom's favorite, and like so we like were able to subtract out the different things, and so then they were able to see like the remaining budget, and that was good, like little life skills for them.
Yeah, and then they had gotten some money for Christmas too, and so when we went to the store, what we did is we rang up like their items separately, and they put their cash into the machine so they could see the amount going down. And then we rang up their mom's gifts all together, and they were able to see, okay, this is $15, so we used the whole budget.
Right.
Technically a few more cents over because of tax, but
yeah,
that's what we had planned on.
Yeah,
so.
exactly. So
a good teaching moment.
Definitely. And so so I've sent like 5 notes now. This last one I was the 5th one, but I only asked a question one time. And so that very first time is the only time I've gotten a response. So I asked a question this last time, and so we'll see if we get a response. But I think it is good to have that.
Yeah, I think the mom was put a little bit at ease getting to see us,
I hope
kind of meet us in person. That's what it seemed like. I mean, I don't know, but like, and then the mom was wearing a Duck Dynasty sweatshirt. And so I had to like compliment her on that. Like, oh yeah, we love Duck Dynasty too. Uncle Si's great. He's hilarious. And so.
Yeah, and the kids are from the country, and so they always say that. We're from the country. We're from the country.
And I was like, I grew up in the country too. Like.
Yeah, so it's a good connection point.
So, try to, find things in common and talk about them.
Definitely. So other things, this past week I did take to a dentist appointment, and I did call for their appointments, doctor appointments. They have them in the county they had come from, which is actually an hour away from where we are. So I was trying to get stuff transferred to a more local one. So I was working on that today. It's good that dentist and doctor, all of that with foster care is covered through Medicaid. And so there's not like extra expenses for us to do. And so that's just such a blessing, because we're able to, it's just our time, right? And our time and making sure that they are set up well for when they do go back to their families. And one other thing that has been super helpful has been WIC, which totally forgot about. Like we learned about that the first class, which was at this point a year ago.
Yeah.
And we were just like so overwhelmed when we first got placed with them. I didn't even think about that. And I had mentioned in the last video, like, I think the day 1 and 2, like Peter, every time he was going to Walmart, was spending like $200 here, and like,
which is not so much anymore. I mean, that was the initial getting things set up, getting little things that we needed here and there.
But a lot of that was like, big cost is formula, because like we didn't realize how expensive formula is.
Well, at first we got the name brand, like Similac, and then, we started researching like, oh, you can get like basically the same thing, but like a store brand.
Yeah.
So we started doing Parents' Choice, which is Walmart's brand.
Yep.
And then, we tried a couple different ones. So we tried, because we were like, well, this one is called the Gentle, so maybe it would help him not spit up as much.
Right,
so
he's
we tried
spitting
that.
up sometimes.
And then we saw it was like the first ingredient was corn syrup or something. And then, anyways, with WIC, they partner with Gerber, and we're trying the Soothe formula, which seems to work pretty good. But the other one, as he's gotten older, he's been fine on the Parents' Choice Advantage as well.
Yeah.
So either of them work well. The funny thing with Gerber is it's like a 12-ounce can, and it's super expensive. What was that one?
It's $18 for a 12-ounce can, whereas for the Walmart, it's like $20-something dollars.
It's just $20. It's $19.99 or something like that.
Or a big can
for
of it.
For a 36-ounce can. And you can buy a 4-pack, and it's $66 for the 4-pack. So it's basically buy 3, get 1.
Yeah, so it is like...
Versus for the same amount, it's like $180 for the Gerber.
Right, so it's like a third of the price. You can do it on your own. But the nice thing is with WIC...
It's free.
It is free. And we do get then for D, since she is under 5... and we do get some benefit for her, and so I've used that for the first time. Besides $180 of formula that I got, I also got like about $35 worth of groceries, and I didn't get all of it for the month yet, so I probably have another like 10, 15 left in that. So it's probably about $50 a month for groceries that you get through that.
It would be nice to see the government maybe like revisit that contract and just go with store brand, because they do that for a lot of the other food items. They just
do.
say, get a store brand, you know, loaf of bread or milk or whatever.
Right.
And it's like, well, why do we need to be with Gerber? Like, Gerber is like making a ton of money probably on that contract, and it's like
someone watching this is gonna be like working for Gerber and be like, "Stop it, Peter! Stop it! Don't say that!"
I'm just saying. I mean, yeah.
One of the other things we thought of that would be super nice is like when we do get when a foster parent does get their first placement or a placement, it's just to get a packet of information that's like very general. It doesn't have to be specific to that child, but like, hey, like if the child's under 5, like sign them up for a WIC.
Next steps.
You know, usually court date happens within like 60 days. You know, your case manager will reach out to you with details about that, or just something. Just because like we seriously like just felt in the dark. We're like, and then we were just trying to survive day to day with COVID. So now after COVID, I was like, what's happening? What's happening? Like we don't know what's happening.
She likes to get a little dramatic and make it sound really crazy, but it hasn't really been that crazy. It's been pretty much normal life.
But it is nice to know.
We've been figuring out, focusing on the kids, figuring out how to parent and the different everyday things that any parent has to figure out, or any first-time parent has to figure out.
We're just doing it all at once with 3.
We're just doing it with 3, so different ages, which is fine and it's good. And like,
I think it's been helpful to have them, for them to have each other has been so helpful. We're definitely gonna make another video about that at some point.
Right. But like overall, like I mean, it's not been, I don't think, that crazy.
No.
We just didn't know what we didn't know, and like we're learning as we go, which is totally fine. Like you don't need to know everything, but knowledge is power, so to speak. I mean, it really puts you at ease. And so like, you know, the meeting you had with Casa, learning a lot more, and then I spent so the night previous to that, I was taking care of the baby and getting up and doing the feedings, and so I woke up at like 1 o'clock to feed him, and was up. I just had questions. I'm like, I'm just gonna start asking Google my questions, because our case manager wasn't getting back, unfortunately. And so I was like, I'm gonna just start researching, okay, you know, all these different things. And so I just kind of spent 2 hours from 1 to 3 in the morning researching and learning some things. And then I was
Our schedule is terrible.
I was super, but it was the weekend. So I mean, hey, the next day was Saturday.
Right.
I knew she was going to see the Casa. So I was like, well, if we have any questions, you know, we should ask them. And so
it was good, the questions that stuff he researched, because then he prepped me before I went.
First thing in the morning when she got up, I'm like, all right, grab your coffee. Here, I got some things to share.
No, I didn't grab coffee because I was about to grab coffee with her. So you're just like, all right, you ready? Here we go. And I'm like, whoa,
before
dude,
the kids got up, I was like, before the kids wake up.
I was like, calm down, dude, calm down. He's like, all right, I learned this and this and this and this. I'm like, whoa.
I get really excited when I learn stuff.
He does.
And so just sharing it all and trying to get her up to speed. Plus, I was like, okay, you got to go soon. The kids are going to be up any second. I need to share as much as I can with you, like ASAP. And like, you know, I just researched 2 hours worth of stuff, and like, you know, had like 6 PDFs, and a couple of them pretty long, and trying to give you the bullet points and the main takeaways. Learning a ton. It's been a great experience, I would say, so far. So this first month has been great. The community, you know, our church family has been great. And
oh my goodness.
Like my family that came and visited.
Yeah, Peter's parents came and visited for 3 days just recently, and his sister, and that was so nice.
I vacuumed, and they took care of the baby a lot of the time.
Yes, they were watching the baby, so I was able to, that's when I set up WIC, because I was like, okay, I'm actually able to like do this right now and figure this out. And it was, and then I took a nap, and then both days I took a 40-minute nap. The one day I didn't set an alarm, because I figured I would get up when the kids got up, and all of a sudden I woke up and I didn't hear the kids, and I knew they should have got up already, and I was like, are the baby monitors off? Are your parents just like with them? And no, they just were sleeping really good, because they played really hard with your parents and with your sister. So one of the nice things with in-person visits is that we do get 8 hours a week right now.
4 hours each
4
visit.
hours each visit, and there's 2 visits in person a week right now. So this is our 4th time. So the first 3 times we did right away was we went to the gym, then we took a shower, had dinner, and then I was like so motivated. I'm like, I am going to like also like edit a video during this time and probably like, you know, mop the floor and all this stuff. No, I took a nap the very first time. Second time, I think we watched a show. I think we read a book, Love and Logic, part of the time. Third visit, I did edit. And now this fourth visit,
we're making a video.
Recording. Peter was going to get to the gym, but this video is taken way too long, so they're going to be home in 30 minutes. So
good luck editing this, Lisa.
yeah, oops. We just recorded too long. So I hope that you enjoyed this. I know it was super long. I know there's probably more we wanted to say, I wanted to add. So if you have any questions, let us know. I don't know how often we really will sit down and do this because it does just take a long time.
And overall, like one thing I want to take away with these updates too is just how much of a blessing it is and how good the kids are and how much we do appreciate this experience of fostering the kids. Like, I know sometimes we joke about and talk about how, you know, we're exhausted, we're tired, and, you know, the craziness, and, you know, to a certain extent that's true, but it's all normal stuff, and it's such a blessing. So if you have your own kids or if you have foster kids, whatever it is, kids are a blessing for sure. Enjoy them while they are young, while you have them. They'll be gone in no time. Time flies. This month has flown by for us. But yeah, I was listening to Dr. James Dobson's audiobook for Bringing Up Girls, which is really, really good. Highly recommend it if you have little girls and haven't listened to it or read the book yet, whichever way you prefer. Lately, I've been listening to a lot of audiobooks when we go work out, just it's another way to consume something. Bringing Up Girls was really good. It was talking about, like, with babies, you know, make sure to give them tons of attention and FaceTime because that's how they learn to form good attachment. And then also with girls, making sure to listen to them and spend quality time, and so that they know that they're valued and that they're appreciated and that they're loved, so that they don't go searching for it in the wrong places or in the wrong ways. Quality time is like the big takeaway for sure. You know, spending time with your kids is like so important.
It was super convicting when he said that, because I think at times it can be like, okay, like I'm doing this right now, and she is super creative, and sometimes she just wants to do these games that I'm like, okay, I don't really want to do that game, because like it's not like a board game. Like that's what I think of as a game, but her games are, let's do this, and like it's just like, I'm gonna be this animal and you're gonna be this person, or you're gonna be this animal and you're gonna like chase me around. Or she is very creative, and it's just been like, you know, getting to know her better, and I am excited for that, and just really like leaning into that too, because this time is gonna go so fast. I mean, every parent knows that they only have their kids for like a limited time. As a foster parent, it's even more limited. So it's like,
and you never know, like if they're gonna get moved to like another house or something, like a family relative or whatever it might be, when they're gonna go back to the parents.
Right.
So yeah, just savoring every moment and, you know, pouring into them as much as we can while we have them. And yeah, for me too, it's kind of similar conviction when I was listening to the audiobook, realizing that, you know, the baby needs a lot of constant attention. And then Dee needs a lot of attention as a toddler. She needs more help with things.
Yeah.
Whereas the oldest, you know, doesn't necessarily need as much help with a lot of things. And so by default, we're helping the two young ones a lot of times with a lot of stuff because they need it. And she's just kind of, I mean, we still spend a lot of time with her, but there's been times where she's patiently waiting for us to like finish changing a diaper or helping Dee on the potty or whatever it might be. And she's just kind of waiting. Just be intentional with time and schedule. Make sure that every kid is getting some good quality time.
Yeah. So thanks so much for watching. I actually think that I am going to start releasing our travel videos again during the week, and maybe on the weekend still do these foster care updates. So if the next video you see Argentina, no, we are still in Indiana, but Argentina, that was from our 1 year around the world trip video. That was in 2018 that I'm still editing. You can watch the videos to see why in the world I'm still editing those. So thanks for listening to this update. Sorry, it was super long, and I know that I'm gonna say that probably like every update. I thought we were gonna do it fast. I thought it was gonna be like a 10, 15 minute update, but like we just had a lot to share. We had a lot to share. So thanks for watching. Subscribe if you're not already, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye guys. I feel like you weren't very energetic. Could you be a little?
I was.
No,
I think it was fun.
The intro, I felt like you could have been a little bit more energetic.
Like not be me?
No, you were just so chill. Like
I don't think it was.
This is tired Peter chill. I want you to be excited Peter chill.
I think it's fine if you watch it back. We'll try it later.
Okay. I don't really have it. Okay,
yeah,
so like,
have a ton of stuff.
Fine. So like, getting out of quarantine, I guess
you want to kind of go. I'm saying sequentially in like the order. So kind of figure out a way to tie where you just were though seamlessly to this.
I mean, I can keep talking. I'm really good at just talking. But
No,
I
just
wanna
don't talk
have
randomly. I know, and I will, but you didn't hand it back. You just dropped it. If this was ping pong, you dropped the ball. You're just gonna drop it. You're not gonna pass it back. You gotta say a little transition sentence, and then I can go ahead.
You just want everything on a spoon.
Hey,
I'm gonna give you a golden spoon.
No, that's what you did at the beginning, and then I started passing it back too.
Yeah.
I lob it up and give it back.